What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the King Lance Steelblade figure from Boss Fight Studios. And here is King Lance Steelblade. As you can see, he comes with this wonderful artwork on the left of the packaging. The figure itself with all his accessories in the bubble. And this is from the Vitruvian Hacks line. When I flip it around, you can see all the other figures in this particular wave. And Boss Fight Studios also wrote up their own file card. And feel free to pause the video so you can actually read this entire story. I thought that was really interesting on Boss Fight Studios' behalf to give us a backstory on this particular figure. Like all the other Boss Fight Studios figures, this is collector friendly, where you can actually slide the card back out, take the figure out, and if you want to put him back in packaging, you just fold this flap back over, and when you flip him around, he's mint on card once again. I say let's open him up and see what he's all about. Okay, I've taken everything out of the packaging and laid it on the table. And one thing I can say for Boss Fight Studios is there's absolutely no shortage of accessories. And every bit of these accessories fit the theme of this figure. They give you a flag and a figure stand, 2 extra helmets, a set of hands, 2 different head sculpts, a longsword and a sheath, a battle axe. Over here he has 2 pauldrons, a cape, a shield, and of course the figure himself. Let's go over some of the accessories and I'll bring them in nice and close to the camera. First up, we'll take a look at his figure stand. You can see he has the Boss Fight Studios emblem on it with 2-foot pegs. Underneath is fairly hollow and it's got the 2017 logo on it. He comes with this fantastic looking flag. Every king or king's court needs a flag in colors. It has gold and purple with 2 Pegasus on it, the king's crown, and a star. They painted the handle. There's purple wrap on the handle, gold on the top and all the tips. Next we'll take a look at this helmet. The winged helmet has really fantastic gold paint on the front of it. The entire helmet is pearlescent white to match the king's armor. You can see the sculpted wings on either side. A little bit of detail around the back. And these are pretty pliable, so they fit on the figure's heads no problem at all. Next we'll take a look at the Jousting Helmet. And this has a face guard on it with great gold highlights, and you can actually see the rivets on top are painted gold. Nice detail on the side and the back. And this is actually articulated, so this opens up to expose the figure's face. And when he's ready for battle, you put the visor down. He also comes with an additional set of hands. And these are also in the pearlescent white with the gold knuckles and the gold on all the joints. And this particular hand, as you can see, the hinge actually moves in this direction, whereas the hand on the figure moves in the up and down direction, so you can swap those out as needed. He comes with this long sword. It's got a silver blade and a really nice detailed gold hilt and pommel with the handle. They etched some design in the blade. Also, he has this long sword sheath. And this is in like a faux leather brown color with purple wrapping and gold highlights. And the peg right here actually pegs onto the side of the figure. And of course, you just take this and you slide it in here and it sheathes in there perfectly. And now you can actually peg it on the side of the figure and it can draw it as he needs to. Next up is this absolutely amazing looking axe. This thing has a gold beaded ball at the end with purple wrapping handle, super sharp edges, great looking detail on the blades with the gold tip, and it has just enough flexibility so it won't break. Absolutely love this weapon. I could just see him wielding this thing against some enemy. Next we'll look at his shield. This has the royal purple just like his flag with the 2 Pegasus and the crown. It's got a silver border, and I absolutely love this gold trim around it with the rivet looking detail. Coming around the back, they painted the backside silver, and here's the handle for the figure, and that of course goes on the figure's wrist. Next, we'll take a look at the pauldrons. And this also is in the pearlescent white, like the armor with the gold trim. And if you look inside, this has an L on it for the left side, and this peg right here actually pegs into the shoulder of the figure. So there's a left and a right. And of course, you can't be a king without your cape. This has a gold button on the front, or highlight. Really fantastic material looking plastic. It's really pliable. And this also has a peg for a shoulder. So this gives you the option of wearing the cape on one side in a pauldron, or both pauldrons. For the last accessory, let's take a look at the 2 additional head sculpts. Let me grab my tweezers to get my fat fingers off camera. And you can see the great detail of this head sculpt. He's got blue eyes with blonde hair. And Boss Fight Studios is definitely known for their head sculpts. Great detail on top. Let me put this back and we'll grab the second head sculpt. And I absolutely love this head. He has a really intense look on his face with his black beard and his blonde mustache. Absolutely amazing detail for 1/18 scale. So I think this is fantastic that they give you 3 different head sculpts, so you can actually have 3 different figures if you like. Let's take a look at the king himself. Now look at this head sculpt. Tell me he doesn't scream royalty with his mustache and goatee and his amazingly detailed crown that's in gold. And it actually wraps around his entire head. No shortage of detail on this. Coming down to his armor, it's in all pearlescent white with gold ribbing around it. And up on the shoulders, these are those 2 holes for all the accessories like his pauldron and cape. Coming down to his waist piece, this band is actually separate and it has a black slanted belt and a flexible purple loincloth in the front. His legs are actually dark gray, and you can see the armor going down to the front of his shins, and of course they sculpted the top of his feet as well. And look at the point on those boots. Turning to the side, nice armor down his arm, and of course on his thigh. And let me move his arm up so you can see the porthole right here for the sword. Pretty plain on the back of the figure, with the exception of all the wrinkles on his pants. Same detail on this side. He also has a port right there if you want to hang the sword on this side of the figure. Look at the detail on the arm and the hands, and even the rivets on his bicep. No paint slop anywhere on this figure. I have to give it to Boss Fight. Their figures are absolutely amazing. I wanted to take the figure and show you what it looked like with all the different heads. And all you do is you pop the head off, and there's a hole right there. You grab another head, you line up the dumbbell, and you just push it in the hole, and it pops in place. So now you can see what it looks like with this head on it. Let me actually grab a helmet. I'll put the Jousting Helmet on him. And this changes the figure dramatically. So if you want to army build this guy, you can put on multiple helmets or any one of the 3 heads. And with this being articulated, you can actually see his face. Just slide it down and he's ready for battle. Take this one off. Let me grab the second head and line this up. And oh, I gotta move the dumbbell. It should just pop right on. Just like that. And here we have this head. let's see what he looks like with the last helmet. And you can actually see his eyes are looking out the port of this helmet. He's absolutely ready for battle with this helmet on. Let's take this off and pop this one off. And I want to put the king's head back on to show you something. Now, in order for you to get a helmet on his head, you actually have to remove his hairpiece. And you see there's a slot and a notch. And now you can take either one of the two helmets and slide it on the king. And now he's ready for battle as well. Yeah, there's something about this helmet I absolutely love. So, let me take the helmet off. And can't be a king without your crown and hairpiece. And let me show you how the pauldron works. I'm going to show that you have the L for the left. Let's grab the cape. Now the cape only drapes on the right side of the figure. And you plug that peg right into the port on the shoulder. Now you have a cape on the actual king. Because no king can be without his cape. And let me grab the other pauldron. And same thing, the peg just ports in the hole. You line it up and it pops in place. And now you can see what it looks like in this configuration. If you want the other pauldron on, this just pops off. Same thing, you line up the peg in the hole and you push it in till it clicks. And now you can see him in this configuration. So you have plenty of options with this figure. Alright, it's articulation time. Let's bring the king in and show you what His Majesty can do. He can look left and right. And of course with that dumbbell joint, he can look up about this far and down really well. And this thing rotates and rolls around really well, so you can get some really expressive poses with him. Coming down to his shoulder, this is actually soft and it does move out of the way a little bit, so you can get his arm up this far. Of course, it rotates at the shoulder. Coming to the elbow, it bends 90 degrees. And this rotates 360 degrees. Coming down to his wrist, this rotates 360 degrees. And this wrist goes up and down in this direction. And like I said earlier, with the extra hands, these hands actually move in this direction. So you can swap them out if you need to. Coming back to the figure, we'll look at his waist. And in the upper torso, there's a joint. So he can rotate left and right. He can bend back this far. And he can only bend forward about this far because of the sculpting on the armor. Now, no waist articulation, but he can do the splits this far. And, of course, Spartan kick forward this far.
This is Sparta!
And he's got a double knee joint here. Really great range of motion in his legs. Coming down to his feet, straighten his leg out real quick. He can point his boot this far. And it only comes up about this far. And of course, this can rotate 360 degrees. Really great range of motion for a figure with all this medieval armor on. Let's do some height comparisons with other 1/18 scale figures in my collection. Here's an Ultimate Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe. Of course, I'll bring in my Nico figure that I painted on camera some time back. And he's from Joy Toy. Can't forget a Marauders figure, so here's my custom October Guard figure. Let's bring in a Halo figure, so the Space Marine. He's a little bit shorter than these guys, if I can get him to stand up. Now, I want to give Marvel Universe some love, so I'll bring in my Hyperion figure. And let me grab another Marvel Universe figure, the one and only Wolverine. And Wolverine's known to be short, so see if I get him to balance. And this gives you a really good look at multiple figures and multiple lines in the same scale. Well, it's going to wrap up another Vitruvian Hacks figure from Boss Fight Studios. This is my look at King Lance Steelblade, and I have to tell you, he's absolutely phenomenal. And for those of you who didn't know, Boss Fight Studios actually did sculpting for a lot of the G.I. Joe line back in the day. These figures can hold their weapons perfectly, they come fully articulated, and there's zero paint slop anywhere. And if you're looking to switch up into the medieval sword and sorcery line, go ahead and check these guys out. And I can't say it enough. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, join the community. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications of upcoming videos. And help a fellow collector out and share your knowledge.